Now, of course, Joe Biden is going to put his foot in his mouth at some point. Now, if you again, a lot of this is if you pay attention or not. If you don't, and you just casually watch CNN, MSNBC, places like that, you're never going to get what Joe Biden really did say. Or you'll have to like fucking sift through it somehow. But most people can't do that. So you're not going to hear the bad gaffe yet. You don't. I mean, so basically, if you watch just the MSNBC, CNN, you're under the impression that Joe Biden's good. He hasn't said a gaffe yet. Great, wonderful. But if you're somebody who pays attention like I do, if you're a political junkie, you're like, this guy already has said stupid shit that you're like, fuck. So I there's a bunch, but one in particular just happened like a day ago or so. Like he even said something about the Green New Deal where he's like, look, man, I'm fighting for, no, he said fighting, some way in which it made it seem like he's fighting the environment. And you're like, yeah, that means like fighting to fuck it up, or at least be casually unaware and blissfully ignorant about what's going on, which, yeah, that's exactly what he's been doing. We don't need that asshole. Thank you. So he said something about shitting on the Green New Deal, whatever. Then again, one of many so far, but the one that really got me was involving Medicare for all. And he did it in his speech to like older people that, could easily, if you now, all right, I understand Joe's bought and paid for shill, so he's not going to have the fucking desire to want to explain things. But look, anybody with a brain can explain to the older generations, hey, whatever you got with Medicare right now, while it's good and it's simple, you don't have to fuck around with calling the different insurance companies to see what's covered, what's this, blah, blah, blah. Look, it could be made a lot better under either Sanders or the one sponsored primarily by Pramila Jayapal. Either one of those two bills for Medicare for all, it increases the things that you get covered. And most importantly, which doesn't really get covered at all with Medicare today, dental. You want to actually go to the fucking dentist? How's that for a fucking change? All right, some people don't like to go, but whatever. I mean, they say you got some problems with your teeth. Where do you want to end up with dentures, or do you want to try to get that shit fixed before it falls out? Now, if Medicare for all will end up making sure that you can actually see the dentist on a regular basis. Another supremely important thing not covered by Medicare currently, in-home health care. And sometimes, and not even really, I mean, the whole thing's called, like, I forget what the general term is, but it's not just the care in your home, but it's when you go to a home or, a senior living facility, that those things are now covered. When now, no, you don't have the money, you're fucked. You're just going to wilt away and die, essentially. So there's that. Then there's also hearing aids. Like, again, so there's many things that you could say that would make the older people in the crowd be like, they don't have to be scared like there are with all the rest of these shitbags like Joe Biden going around saying, no, it's going to take away from what you got, and you don't want that, do you? Piece of shit. So anyway, what he ends up saying was, it was something to the effect of the employers, businesses. Why do we want to let them off the hook for healthcare? That's why he's opposed to, doing a Medicare for all. And I started to get pissed off because I'm like, what do you mean off the hook, you fucking moron? In all likelihood, they'll pay taxes now that'll end up going to a system so that for one, just head right up his ass. Doesn't know shit. And two, look, fucking so-called working class Uncle Joe, whatever, fighter for the small business, whatever kind of bullshit he wants to call himself. If he really gave a shit about small businesses, and I mean like genuine, not the fucking nonsense that Republicans try and act like a multinational is a small business too. No. I mean, like between 1 and 50 employees, 45, 50 employees, 1 in 50 employees, those businesses would be greatly appreciative of Medicare for all. Why? Now they don't have to fuck around with the expense of health care. All they have to do is worry about hiring good people, paying them well, and that those people will make them the products and do the services that then make them money. Hey! But as of now, a lot of small businesses, part of their overhead is fucking healthcare costs. And that shit cuts deep to the point where a whole lot of small businesses out there are just barely head above water, barely scraping by, because they have to worry about fucking covering all their employees. So some don't even bother. And some, and it's not like that they're heartless piece of shit people. I understand, because it's like, well, shit, if I cover it, now I'm down to almost nothing. There's almost no profit in it. I'm not making any money. I'm this far away from bankruptcy and getting thrown out of business. So what the hell can I do? And the ones that can actually afford and want to do something good for their employees, now that's a fucking headache. That shitheads like Joe Biden don't understand that, look, first of all, just to find those good plan, they're not even all that good. Just to find any kind of plan that's a, employer-based one, they have to research countless months and months of worth of fucking going through all these goddamn forms, calling this asshole, getting a quote from this fucking person, all this bullshit. And then guess what? They'll switch the next year. And so all that shit that you just had to go through, well, you're going through it again. And then you, the employee, are going to be somebody who's just tied to that. Let's say you actually did get a relatively worth a shit plan that covers, you and your family and makes sure that you don't get or go bankrupt because of any kind of medical disease or procedure. Now you're tied to that fucking business forever. You can't start a business of your own. You're like wondering, well, fuck, what if I want to move on somewhere else in my career, do something a little different? You can't. Unless you want to deal with the prospect of being fucked over with medical bills if something bad happens while you're not covered. So it's just amazing that they think, no, hey, I want them to not avoid responsibility. And again, so that has to be the dumbest talking point. And so again, I wonder if Joe Biden had people go to that fucking, that thing at the Salamander Resort to talk about how to, the talking points you use to defeat Medicare for all. I wonder if that's one of the stupid things that they say. I don't know. It sounds too dumb, even for them. They probably were like, yeah, did you hear Joe Biden say that stupid shit about letting them off the hook? No, don't say that. Don't. Here's some more clever things to say to fuck over, the drive for Medicare for all. Here's some more clever things. It's like, so it's a big, there's so many forces out there trying to prevent this from happening. Joe Biden's just one of them. And since he's the front runner, and again, he's a front runner because polls are shit. They're not counting anybody under the age of 50, at least not in any great numbers to have a real statistic out of it. So you get the impression he's just destroying in the polls. But, so he'll be around for a while, and the more stupid shit he says, the more I'll be here to debunk him and tell you how fucking stupid he is and how he needs to just go away. He fucking sucks big time. We don't need someone like him. I mean, he's to the point where Trump can actually win with this dumb, sleepy Joe nonsense about him. When in reality, it's because he wants to say creepy, but his people have told him, yeah, Trump, this is not going to work. You shouldn't do this. Why not? He goes around touching people. We should call him Creepy Joe. It fucking makes total sense. What's the big deal? I don't see what the problem is. Of course you don't, Trump, because you're a fucking creepy toucher boy yourself. You grabbed him by the pussy guy, remember? No? Yeah? Mm-hmm. It must have been a great conversation to have with him. Because I guarantee you, he's that simplistic of an idiot that sometimes his nicknames work, but they're all, even if they work, they're all simplistic, childish nickname type things. He's like, all right, what is it? He looks at you, oh, this, simple, blah, blah, blah. So he definitely thought Creepy Joe, but somebody must have talked him out of it. So he's like, well, I'm already with Creepy. Sort of rhymes. It's, it's real easy, rolls off the tongue, so to speak. What else could you do? And it's, well, he kind of sounds a lot more low energy than he used to, so maybe call him. Yeah, I already did that with Jeb. No. Sleepy Joe. There you go. All right, fine. You want me to change? That's going to be the new name. Is that good enough? How about that? Fucking prison. If that's the choice, if you thought this last election was low voter turnout, I bet you 65% of this country sits it out. If it's between fucking Joe Biden and goddamn Donald Trump. Jesus Christ. Imagine. So, we got to get Bernie in there, man. I know a lot of people are not fucking fans of his, and then there's a whole Twitter contingent that's just fucking bitter for no goddamn reason. And deep down, you people can go fuck yourselves. But for the time being, get Bernie in. It'll help you out, you and your family. Bite the fucking bullet, shitheads. Stop being obstinate just because you're fucking bitter about something. I don't know why. I don't even care anymore. That's the real race. Bernie against shithead Trump. We know who's going to win. And then he's actually going to do stuff for you and your family. Don't be a goddamn roadblock, assholes.